Have you ever wondered why women test men? Why she suddenly acts distant, challenges your words, or gives you a little attitude out of nowhere? Most men panic in that moment. They think she's losing interest, or worse, they try to overcompensate by chasing harder, explaining themselves, or begging for her approval. But the truth is this: when a woman tests you, she's not trying to push you away. She's trying to see if you're strong enough to stay. The reality is simple. Women don't test weak men. They test men who show potential, men who could be worth their time, their trust, and their love. And here's the part most guys never realize: every test is a doorway. If you react with fear, you fail and she loses respect for you. But if you stand calm, stoic, and unshaken, you don't just pass the test. You ignite a level of attraction and trust that makes her want you even more. Think about it. When she throws a sarcastic remark your way, when she gives you silence after you say something, or when she challenges your decisions, it's not random. It's her way of asking, "Are you the man I can rely on? Or will you crumble like the rest?" Most men collapse under the pressure. They get defensive, they argue, they try to explain themselves endlessly. But a stoic man? He doesn't flinch. He doesn't beg. He doesn't try to prove his worth. He simply stands firm in who he is, knowing that his value doesn't need validation. Women are emotional by nature, but attraction to a man is rarely about just his looks or charm. It's about his presence. Can he stay grounded when things get messy? Can he keep his composure when she tries to trigger his emotions? Can he show that no matter what she throws at him, his center of gravity is unshaken? That's what a test is all about. She wants to feel safe, and safety comes from knowing her man is not easily moved, not easily broken, and not easily manipulated. Passing her tests isn't about playing games. It's about embodying strength, self-control, and masculine calmness in every situation. When she pulls away, you don't chase, you let her come back. When she criticizes, you don't snap. You listen calmly, respond briefly, and stand firm. When she gives you attitude, you don't lose patience. You smile, stay centered, and let her energy bounce off you like a wave crashing against a mountain. That's how stoic men always win. The beauty is, once you understand this, her tests stop feeling like attacks. They become opportunities. Every time she tries to shake your foundation and you remain unmoved, her respect grows. Every time she sees you can handle her emotions without losing control of your own, her trust deepens. And every time you pass another test, her attraction for you doesn't just increase, it multiplies. So the next time you notice her pulling back, challenging you, or acting a little difficult, remember this: she's not trying to hurt you, she's trying to see you. She's asking you to prove, not with words, but with presence, that you are a man who can lead, protect, and remain calm no matter what. That is the essence of masculine strength. And that is why stoic men always pass. Because in the end, women don't want a man who crumbles under pressure. They want a man who becomes stronger under it. They want the man who stays grounded, steady, and unshaken. And if you can become that man, not only will you pass every test, you'll earn a level of loyalty, desire, and respect that weak men will never know. You've probably heard it before: women test men. But most men don't understand why, and even fewer know how to pass these tests without losing their cool. Imagine this: she suddenly goes cold, she questions your worth, she throws sarcasm, she makes you wait, she flirts in front of you, she challenges your decisions. Many men panic, argue, chase harder, or collapse under the pressure. And that is exactly when they fail. But here's the truth: women don't test you to destroy you, they test you to reveal you. They want to know if the man standing in front of them is built on solid ground, or if he's just a fragile facade ready to crumble at the first sign of resistance. And the man who passes every test isn't the loudest, or the angriest, or the most charming. It's the man who stays stoic, grounded, calm, and unshaken no matter what storm she brings. That's the man she respects. That's the man she trusts. And that's the man she desires. So let me take you deep into this hidden world of feminine testing. I'm going to reveal why women do it, how they do it, and most importantly, how you as a man can remain unbreakable. Because once you understand the psychology behind these tests, and once you master the Stoic mindset, you'll never see them as problems again. You'll see them as opportunities to stand taller, stronger, and more attractive than 99% of men she's ever met. Think about this for a second. Life itself is constantly testing you. Business tests you. Friendships test you. The gym tests you. Even your own mind tests you every morning when it whispers, "Stay comfortable, don't push, don't grow." And the men who become powerful are not the ones who avoid tests. They are the ones who welcome them, breathe through them, and prove through action that they cannot be shaken. Women are no different. Their tests are a mirror of life itself. If you fail them, she feels you will fail in bigger battles. If you pass them, she feels safe with you, drawn to you, addicted to your strength. Let's be clear, when a woman tests you, it's not about the surface behavior. If she ignores your text for hours, it's not really about the phone. If she criticizes you in a playful or sharp way, it's not really about that single comment. If she pushes your buttons, it's not about the button. It's about whether you can handle pressure without losing control. She wants to feel your depth. She wants to feel that you don't break. And here's where the Stoic man stands apart. A Stoic doesn't react emotionally to every move. He doesn't explode, he doesn't beg, he doesn't shrink. He observes, he breathes, he chooses his response with clarity. That kind of man radiates power without effort. He doesn't have to prove anything with loud words. His silence, his calm eyes, his steady presence prove more than words ever could. Now, why do women test men? The answer is simple. Because deep down, they crave certainty. A woman may be attracted to your looks, your charm, your success, but attraction alone is fragile. Certainty, however, is rare. She wants to know, if she trusts you, if she gives herself to you, if she follows your lead, will you collapse under the weight, or will you carry both of you with strength? Her tests are her way of searching for that answer. And they never stop. That's right, women will test you in the beginning, and they'll continue even years into a relationship. Not because they're cruel, but because they're wired to seek strength in their man, the same way a soldier checks his weapon before battle. She needs to know you're reliable. So here's what most men do when tested. They get defensive. She makes a sarcastic remark, and he snaps back with anger. She ignores him for a few hours, and he floods her phone with messages. She pulls away emotionally, and he desperately chases to pull her back. All of this is weakness disguised as reaction. And every time a man reacts this way, he teaches her one lesson: this man is not grounded. This man is led by his emotions, not by his strength. But the Stoic man, the man who passes, does something entirely different. He doesn't fight the test, he doesn't chase her approval, he doesn't crumble under silence. He breathes, he waits, he watches. If she jokes at his expense, he smiles and calmly throws it back playfully, without venom. If she takes time to respond, he simply goes on with his day, centered in his mission, untouched by impatience. If she tries to provoke him, his energy remains steady, and soon her attempt melts into respect. That is the secret. Passing a test isn't about proving dominance, it's about showing indifference to chaos. Let me give you a quick story. A man once told me about his girlfriend who would constantly push his buttons by joking about other men. At first, he would argue, get jealous, demand she stop. Every time he did, she would roll her eyes, and the relationship got worse. Finally, after he learned the power of stoicism, he changed his approach. The next time she joked, he simply smirked, looked her in the eyes, and said, "If that's what you're looking for, you're free to go." No anger, no chase, no pleading, just calm certainty. Her entire expression changed. Why? Because in that moment, he showed he wasn't afraid of losing her, and he wasn't desperate for her validation. That is the kind of response that passes tests. So remember this: women don't test men to find perfection, they test to find strength. They don't need you to always have the right words, they need you to always have the right energy. And the energy of a stoic man is unshaken. Now, as we dive deeper into the main content, I'll break down the different kinds of tests women use, how they appear in daily life, and the exact stoic responses that turn these moments from stress into attraction. Because once you see these patterns clearly, you'll stop fearing tests. You'll start welcoming them as opportunities to reveal who you really are. Every man who's ever dealt with women knows that not all tests look the same. Some are sharp and direct, some are quiet and invisible. And if you don't know how to spot them, you'll keep failing without even realizing why. Let's start with the most common one, emotional tests. These are the moments when she throws a wave of emotions at you, not because of logic, but because she wants to feel your stability. She might cry over something small, she might overreact to a comment, she might suddenly accuse you of not caring enough. Most men jump into fixing mode, scrambling for solutions, or worse, they get frustrated and tell her she's being dramatic. Both reactions are failures, because neither shows strength. The stoic response is different. When she storms with emotion, you don't try to silence the storm, you become the calm center of it. You don't argue, you don't panic, you don't rush. You listen, you breathe, you show through your presence that her storm cannot shake your ground. That simple act makes her feel safe, and safety is the most powerful form of attraction a man can give. Then come jealousy tests. These are dangerous for the weak man, but opportunities for the strong one. She might mention another man, talk about an ex, or even flirt lightly in front of you. Why? Not because she wants someone else, but because she wants to see how deeply you believe in yourself. The insecure man will snap, get possessive, demand that she stop. The stoic man? He doesn't compete with ghosts. He doesn't beg for exclusivity. He simply radiates the quiet confidence that says, "No one can replace me." A calm smirk, a playful remark, and then carrying on with his own mission shows her more value than 1,000 angry arguments. Because the truth is, a woman doesn't want a man who panics over competition, she wants a man so certain of himself that competition doesn't even exist in his mind. And then there are silence tests. This one destroys men who don't understand it. She pulls back, delays her responses, maybe even ignores you for a while. Most men explode with messages, begging for her attention, or they sulk in anger, showing just how dependent they are. The stoic man treats her silence as air. He doesn't chase it, he doesn't resent it, he simply continues moving forward. If she's quiet for a day, he doesn't send 10 texts. He uses that day to build his body, sharpen his skills, expand his empire. When she comes back, she feels something powerful. This man doesn't stop living when I step away. And that realization makes her want to come back faster, with more respect, because no woman wants to be the center of a man's universe. She wants to orbit a man whose universe is already powerful. Another type is the respect test. She might challenge your decisions, disagree just to see how you handle it, or try to lead in moments where you should lead. The insecure man collapses. He either fights her with anger or submits just to avoid conflict. Both kill attraction. The stoic man listens, acknowledges her input, but stands firm when he knows his path. He doesn't get flustered, he doesn't need to overpower her, he simply leads with quiet certainty. And when she feels that, even if she argued at first, she relaxes into your strength. Because what she truly wanted was not to win the argument, but to feel that you cannot be shaken out of your role as a leader. And then there are the push-pull tests, the most confusing of them all. One moment she's warm, affectionate, almost glowing in her energy toward you. The next, she's cold, distant, questioning everything. Most men get whiplash from this and either chase harder in the cold moments or pull away completely. The stoic man sees it for what it is, a dance. Push-pull is not a threat, it's her way of checking if your desire for her is steady, not dependent on her mood swings. So when she pulls away, he doesn't panic. When she comes close, he enjoys it but doesn't get drunk on it. He stays consistent, grounded, the same man whether she is fire or ice. And that consistency is addictive, because while she may be unpredictable, she needs you to be the one constant force she can rely on. When you understand these tests and respond with stoic strength, something magical happens. You stop being reactive, and you start being magnetic. Instead of seeing her tests as attacks, you see them as invitations, opportunities to prove that you are who you say you are. And every time you pass, her respect grows, her trust deepens, and her attraction intensifies. This is the hidden psychology most men never learn. Women don't want perfect men, they want grounded men. They don't need you to control them, they need you to control yourself. Now, here's the deeper truth that most men miss. A woman doesn't test you because she wants to see you fail, she tests you because she wants to feel safe investing her emotions in you. Think about it. Her biology, her psychology, her very survival has always depended on whether the man she chooses is reliable, strong, and unshaken by chaos. Back in ancient times, if a man lost his composure under pressure, it meant danger. In modern times, the danger may not be lions or wars, but it's still emotional survival. She needs to know, can you handle her storms, her doubts, her fire? Or will you collapse and force her to carry the weight of leadership? That's why women often test without realizing they're testing. It's not a conscious strategy. It's instinct. Just like you might instinctively scan for threats when you walk into a room, she instinctively throws out challenges to measure the ground she's standing on. And if you think about it from that angle, tests aren't insults, they're compliments. She wouldn't test you if she didn't see potential in you. She doesn't waste energy on men she doesn't care about. The fact that she pushes you, questions you, or challenges you means she sees something in you that could be worth following. But only if you prove it. Let's take an everyday example. Imagine she asks, "Do you really love me?" Most men rush to answer, desperate to say yes, repeating words over and over to reassure her. But a stoic man understands this is not a question of words, it's a test of presence. Instead of babbling, he looks her in the eye, gives a calm smile, and says, "My actions already tell you that." The difference is subtle, but it changes everything. One response is needy reassurance. The other is steady confidence. Which one do you think keeps her hooked? Or let's look at another moment. You're out together and another man walks by, confident, tall, maybe even attractive. She glances at him. The weak man stiffens, gets insecure, maybe even asks, "Did you like him?" Or, "Why are you looking at him?" And in that instant, he fails. Not because she wanted the other man, but because she wanted to see if you would remain unshaken. The stoic response is to notice it, not react, maybe even make a light joke, then carry on with your mission. Because no matter who walks past, your frame doesn't bend. That's the kind of energy that makes her stop testing and start admiring. Now, here's the paradox. The more you pass her tests, the fewer tests you'll face. Why? Because when you repeatedly show that her storms cannot break your calm, her respect for you locks in. And once respect is locked in, attraction deepens automatically. But if you fail, she'll test harder and harder, until eventually, she either dominates you or leaves you. There's no middle ground. And this is where Stoicism becomes more than just philosophy, it becomes your weapon. The Stoics taught that we cannot control external events, only our responses to them. A woman's tests are external events. You can't stop her from testing you, but you can always control how you respond. Anger, fear, insecurity, those are choices, not inevitabilities. When you discipline yourself to respond with calm strength, you win not only her respect but also your own. One of the most powerful techniques to master this is emotional distance. This doesn't mean being cold or robotic. It means that when she throws a test, you don't absorb it into your identity. You treat it like a passing cloud. If she says, "You don't care about me," the weak man feels wounded and defensive. The stoic man recognizes it as a moment of insecurity, not truth. He doesn't argue, he doesn't beg. He simply stays composed and shows care through his actions. This distance protects your frame. It reminds her that your value doesn't come from her validation. It comes from within. And paradoxically, that's what makes her crave your validation more. Another method is practicing silence. Most men lose the test with their mouths. They over-explain, defend, argue. A stoic man uses silence as a weapon. When she pushes with nonsense, he doesn't need to fight every word. Sometimes a calm look, a pause, or a change of subject demonstrates more strength than 100 explanations. Women feel your strength not in how loudly you argue, but in how calmly you refuse to be dragged into chaos. And let's not forget, the tests don't stop once you're in a relationship. In fact, they often increase. Many men think winning the girl is the finish line, but it's only the beginning. Once she's with you, her tests become the measure of whether you can keep her trust. Fail consistently, and she starts to lead, starts to lose respect, starts to fantasize about men who could hold the frame. Pass consistently, and she softens, submits, and opens up in ways she never will for a man she doesn't respect. So the deeper psychology is this. Women test because they want to surrender, but they can only surrender to a man who doesn't collapse. Her testing is not the problem. It's her way of solving the problem of trust. And if you respond with stoic mastery, you don't just pass her tests, you make her addicted to your presence. Because every test becomes a reminder that she has found what most women are desperately searching for, a man who cannot be moved. And here's the truth you must carry with you. Women will always test men, but the test is never about destroying you. It's about discovering if you're the kind of man she can truly respect and trust. The weak crumble, the insecure explain, the needy beg. But the stoic man? He remains calm, composed, and unshaken. He doesn't chase approval, he commands respect. He doesn't collapse under pressure, he thrives in it. And that's why he always passes. If you've made it this far, it means you're not just another man looking for quick tricks. You're serious about becoming the kind of man women feel safe surrendering to. So take these lessons, live them, and let every test remind you that strength isn't in what happens to you, it's in how you respond. If you found value here, hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful insights on Stoic attraction, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Remember, attraction is never about games, it's about mastery. Master yourself, and everything else follows. Stay strong, stay stoic, and I'll see you in the next one.